Manx Radio's Countryside is brought to you by NFU Mutual.
Hello and welcome to Countryside here on Manx Radio. I'm Simon Clark.
And I'm Kirree. On Sunday, I went up to the Grove Museum in Ramsey to catch up with some visitors there.
And I went along to the Methodist Hall in St John's to pay a visit and talk to some of the people at the annual produce show. Well, Kirree, a few weeks away from me in the Czech Republic. Great out there. My word, there was some fine fields of 3 or 4 combines at once. It was like the middle of the United States, you know.
And what's the weather like there?
It was about 30 degrees for the first week when we were there. Goodness me. But it was nice, you know. They have any sort of thing will do. They've got old like water tanks and bowsers just on old chassis of wagons, a few old wheels on them stuck in the middle of a field, you know, that they just drag to the nearest lake and fill it up, you know.
It's very different from here. All of our blue piping round the fields, all perfectly formed, as they say. But they've got a great way of living out there, haven't they? And it's so vast.
Yeah, and you know, there's so many herds of cattle out in the fields as well, you know, just out roaming in the middle of nowhere. But it was fairly hot for them, and I'd imagine be fairly hot for the sheep on the island too. Was it? Has been lately?
It's been good weather lately, hasn't it? The rain came there through July, and it was wondering whether it was ever going to stop at one point, but no, it's definitely pushed the grass on. The countryside is looking a lot greener, isn't it? And a few combines starting to roll here now as well.
Yeah, it is. And much second or third cut silage been seen?
Yeah, there's quite a bit down at the minute. I think a few boys scratched a bit of hay recently too, so trying to get the use of plastic down again, and it's awfully expensive again this year. But hopefully this weather will be seeing the last of the corn get lifted, and then hopefully getting some of the winter crops, some of the brassicas, the rape and turnips there for lambs through the winter months, and some kale for the cattle. So a nice break in this weather has been very welcomed.
Yeah. Okay, well, you hopefully were in a decent amount of weather on Sunday up the north.
We were indeed. The sun shone there up at the Grove Museum, and what a beautiful setting it was. And they had a visit for the day, the Manx Carriage Driving for the Disabled. They were on tour. I caught up with Helen Ashcroft from the Manx National Heritage to find out what was going on. Now, this is a special occasion today. I've not been to the Grove for many years, but what a setting and what a beautiful horse.
I know, Teddy, isn't he precious? So friendly, and he's not put a foot out today. He's been absolutely foot perfect. Everybody's loved him, and but it's been a bit hot for him. He didn't like the flies, and it's been a bit, you know, it's quite sheltered, the Grove, isn't it? So you really get the benefit of the sun.
It really is, and the garden's obviously looking splendid as well with all of this warmth. But Teddy had a big job on today. You know, it was a very special occasion.
Yeah, well, he's not actually ours. The Manx Carriage Driving for Disabled very kindly brought him along, and we've had basically a fundraising day for Manx Carriage Driving, but also for ourselves. And basically, we're teaming up, we're sharing services, and we're looking at what we can do to raise charitable funds for both of these really important, significant charities for the Isle of Man, but also how we can work together across charities, you know, and so then bringing Teddy along and offering their core work, but as a service for us. And it's been a bit experimental. We haven't gone out and made a big shout about it. We've just done it quite low key. We've sold 7 tours. We've aligned them to people, and every single one has come along and had a great time. And, you know, for many reasons, there's been mothers with babies, there's been older people living with disabilities, and they've just all absolutely loved it, and we've loved it too. To be fair,
yeah. This is it. Even I had a little trip round the field on Teddy, and it's been a long time since I've ever ridden a horse, or even, well, my first time in a carriage, so that's really special to me. But seeing some of the guests here having their cream teas in this beautiful garden, but so happy and absolutely delighted for their day here.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were very lucky to get a large donation of scones so that we could put them on. That was from the old guardhouse. Angelo, who's worked with us in the past, very kindly donated a load of scones, and so we've been able to offer cream tea and cakes in the gardens, and obviously that's gone down really well on a day like this.
It really has, and having the umbrellas up, you could be anywhere. It's just so stunning with the great big trees in the front paddock and the Manx Lochtons. You know, we forget that this was once a working farm.
I know, we always think of Kirree as our working farm, but we still have Lochtons. We still have a national flock on the land here. We've still got the ducks, and hopefully we can bring ponies back more. We've had a pony in the backyard going on those cobbles, and a carriage for the first time in many a year, and all of those things we have to check and make sure it's okay. We're not going to do any damage. It's safe. The pony's not going to get stuck, and all of that. And we've done all that. We've done all the hard work. Yeah. We've got the pony here, and what a lovely success of a day it has been for us and for Manx Carriage Driving for Disabled.
And that noise of the carriage going over the cobbles, it was just something else, wasn't it?
It really was, but also when he turned round the corner and came round the corner in all his beautiful gear this morning, and I saw him on site, and you know how relevant and right that looks. Honestly, it was a proper moment for me. It really was. Beautiful.
And you've worked with the Manx National Heritage now for a good number of years. You've seen some special occasions, but I think this could be quite high up there for you.
Well, it definitely is, because when I started as the manager of Kirree all those years ago, I was recruited because I have got agricultural and skills with equines and farm animals, and this is actually the first time I've had hands-on something that I've been able to produce from a high level and deliver it to from the everything down to how the pony's watered and all of that kind of stuff. And it's it's been a real pleasure. I'm really pleased with myself. I've had a brilliant day.
Job satisfaction, isn't it?
100%. Yeah.
Well, Caroline, you've got a very, very important job. You're hanging on to Ted here today, the head holder, while everybody else is busy dekitting him and putting the carriage away.
Yes, obviously important job. We've got to keep an eye on our horse, make sure he's happy.
He seems really happy, and today is quite warm, and he's super shiny there now. I imagine he's had a few baths.
Yes, he's had quite a few wash downs in between our drives with cold water, and then had the tack took off while we had a break, and then put back on, and obviously had the water chucked over him to cool him down, because obviously warm day today.
Did you want any chucking over you?
Well, I got a little bit over me, so yeah, it was nice and cool.
But for this, you're a volunteer. It's the weekend. How do you get people involved to come and help and do what you do, get out with the animals? There's so much animal therapy involved too.
Yeah. We try and do different events throughout the year, get our charity out there, because obviously a lot of people haven't heard of us.
No.
And then we have a Facebook page as well. You can have a look on that on the MC4D.
But you take them off to the schools as well, and I think that's super important.
Well, the schools actually come to us. So we have a sponsor who will sponsor sessions for different schools. So from the units in different schools, they come to us. We ask them if they're interested in some of their children coming and having a taster session, and then if they like it, they'll come back usually.
And it's the chance to have it, because lots of parents are busy at the weekends. Some have got 2 jobs. They haven't got the time to sometimes get out on the weekends to take their children to such things like this.
You don't need a lot of time really, even if it's just an hour or a couple of hours just to help out. It can be like during the week when we've got to exercise the ponies, or like on the Friday when we have our session, that's just a couple of hours. You can come down and do different things. You don't have to be involved with the pony if you don't want to be.
Yeah, this is it. There's other parts of it.
Yeah, there's other parts of it.
Yeah. But he's so happy. Look at him with his big fringe.
He is. He's a cool pony. He's very relaxed and chilled.
Yeah. Oh, well, he's had a good day here anyway. So
he has.
We'll catch up with Margot wherever she's got to.
She's probably still in the trailer.
Yeah. Well, this is it. It's the time and effort that all of you volunteers have put in to load the wagon up and get all of the kit needed, along with liaising with the museum, with Helen, and pulling it all together.
Well, that's Margot and Liz who do all the hard work, organising these trips and everything else, and then the volunteers just come along for the fun of it.
Oh, and that's it. You must love it.
Yes, yeah, I do. I get me horse fix.
And when you see smiling guests and visitors there, that must just be the icing on the cake.
It is, yeah, because we know they've enjoyed it, which is what we want. So that's the main thing to us, that everyone enjoys the experience of being on the back of the carriage.
There we are. That was Caroline Egan, a volunteer for the Manx Carriage Driving for the Disabled. And before that, Helen Ashcroft from the Manx National Heritage. And shortly in the programme, we'll be hearing from Margot Don, one of the founder members of the Manx Carriage Driving for the Disabled.
You're listening to Countryside here on Manx Radio with Kirree Kermode and myself, Simon Clark. Well, a few of the produce shows have been getting underway of late around the Isle of Man, and one of the most successful ones over the years has been in St John's. And I caught up with the chairperson of the St John's annual produce show, Sue Staley, and put it to her first that she must be pleased with the quality of the entries.
Yes, excellent. Very, very pleased. We came back last year after having a break from COVID, and I would say that this is a more successful show than last year.
When you walk around, the layout's lovely because you can just look in the middle, all the vegetables are on display, from tomatoes and carrots and marrows, and such pride in the people that are displaying these, isn't there? Growing
yes, yeah, definitely. And you know, it's nice to see when they come through the door and they start looking at the prize cards to see if they're a winner or not. It's lovely to see, as it is with the children when they're looking around as well.
Well, Jim Kane, we were looking at before, he's not just an excellent at the plough, seems to have come away with the top prize in.
Yes, he's won the best carrot in the show, and as you can see, there's a lot of entries in the carrot section this year. So yeah, well done, Jim.
It's nice though, isn't it, when we tend to get the carrots, if you see them in supermarkets and things, you come to here and the farm shops around the island to see the carrots, still a bit of soil on them and the green leaves on the top of them. It just makes such a difference.
Yes, big difference, and it's the same with homegrown tomatoes, isn't it? You know, you can't beat the taste of homegrown tomatoes.
Did you grow them yourself?
No, I don't. No.
It's always the smell of tomatoes that I love, you
Yes.
know, the fresh ones that are taken off.
Yeah, definitely.
But when you look at the children's section as well, I've just been looking around at a lovely coloured cake, such imagination. It's like a piece of art there. That's in the junior section, is it?
It is, yes. That's one best exhibit in the confectionery of the children, and yeah, a lot of work's gone into it and a lot of thought as well. So yeah, shame we can't show you over the radio the photo of it, but yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, and who's took that prize?
Isla Kelly.
What about the best in show?
Best in Show has been awarded to Dewan Corran and his lovely exhibit of 3 gladioli, and they're absolutely perfect. They're lovely.
And it's an interesting perception as well, isn't it? Because you think that these people are going to be in the garden every day of the year doing things like this, but Dewan, such various other involvements that he has, and still gets the chance to put these in.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Yeah, it just shows you, you don't have to be at it all the time, now and then, and you can still produce outstanding exhibits.
What about, since you've been involved in it, what's changed much?
I would say that the flowers aren't as well supported as they used to be, and that the confectionery section has improved a lot, and the vegetables are still as good as ever. But I suppose the flowers are weather dependent. So
yeah, is it a good area around St John's here? I mean, there won't be many allotments and things, will there? Just people got bits of space.
I don't know of any allotments near here. I think there's some at Patrick and there's some at the Braid, but I don't know of any allotments near St John's.
What's always your favourite thing to look at when people start bringing their exhibits in?
Oh, definitely the cakes.
Yeah? But there is such a, a lot of the bloke side of it are cooking now as well.
Oh, yes, yeah, definitely. And even we have a class sandwich cake made by a man, but also there's lots of men entering the other classes that aren't just specifically for men. And it's the same with jams and sweets and pickles, and we've got a lot of male winners, which is great.
Honey?
No, we don't do honey actually.
Oh, that's an unusual one. No. Just looking behind us here the array of cups are all laid out here in shields. In the in the yellow and blue, which is very similar to the Ukraine colours. But I think, is it the same colours as the St John's Football Club strip?
It is, yes. St John's Football Club, the helpers that we have, we're all on the committee of St John's Football Club, and they've now moved over to the produce show to help us run. And we have a new trophy this year called the Sylvia Corkish Memorial Trophy, and that's been presented to us by members of Sylvia's family for the best scone in the show, which has created a lot of interest, and the scone section is huge this year. So,
but these halls are synonymous with events that take place, the WI events, and it's I suppose St John's is so synonymous with the home cooking at these events, homemade sandwiches and cakes, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, definitely. And we do there are always fundraisers in the hall, selling homemade produce, and so no, it's great.
Well, a very busy woman, Sue Staley, the chairperson of the St John's Produce Show. Some great stuff on display from young and old, like she was saying there, all getting involved. And it's just been part of St John's, from the Kenyaks, and supporting them for many, many years as well, and they're keeping it going. And June Corrin winning the Gladiolas Best in Show, eh?
I can remember at the Mart they used to always sell the gladiola from Noel Kringle at the Friary. They'd always be taken to St John's there, where the Farmers Arms used to be one time. And what a beautiful sight the gladioli are. And this time of year, I suppose, Simon, it's autumn, isn't it? It's rolling in the back end. But it's always nice to see the berries and the jams being made, the crumbles, and then, if they had a little bit spare, go off to the produce show. Did you have anything in this time?
No, not in that one.
No?
But I'll give you some news of a couple more shows that are coming along. So You never know. Anyway, we've got one more piece, I think, from the carriage driving for the disabled that happened at the Grove Museum.
We do indeed. Margot Don, one of the founder members of the Manx Carriage Driving for the Disabled, wrapped up on what an afternoon they'd had up at the museum.
Oh, Kirree, it's been fantastic, I have to say. As you say, a beautiful venue. The pony has been foot perfect, hoof perfect. He's enjoyed it. The volunteer team, can't speak highly enough of them. We've had a fantastic day. Thanks to Helen Ashcroft, Manx National Heritage, and the ladies, Penny, etc. here today have made us all so welcome. And Rob, mustn't forget Rob, but making us all so welcome.
And what's it to you to come here today? Because you're all volunteers. It's a Saturday. A lot of time and effort's gone into this. The first time you've been here as well.
It is indeed lovely, and we hope to be the first of many, maybe working hand in hand with Manx National Heritage, and because it promotes us more than anything, Kirree. Word of mouth, as you know, and people seeing us does much more maybe than the good old internet and things like that, doesn't it?
This is very true. It is. And you're always looking for volunteers. Like Caroline said, she's one of the younger ones of the group, but she loves it.
Yes, yeah. We have a little corps, and it is a little corps of under 20-year-olds. As you can tell, I'm 21. So, thank you. So, we're always looking for volunteers. You don't have to be horsey neither, because there's so much else to do. Our fundraising, our books, keeping us in order. So much.
That's a job on its own.
Yeah, the tea, the cake making, and I'm not a domestic goddess, Kirree. So,
but we have enjoyed some lovely tea and scones here.
Again, thank you to Ramsey. I think it's come from somebody in Ramsey, homemade, delicious. Absolutely. So, but as I say, Kirree, it's the promotion. Manx Carriage Driving for Disabled. We are a sister branch to Riding for the Disabled, which is up at the Gilka, up the north here, and we're both members of the RDA UK, which has exacting standards that we do maintain. We do the carriage driving. Our sister branch does the riding. So.
And how did you get involved, Margot?
Long story, I suppose. Made short, Kirree. I drive. Have so much enjoyment myself. A few of us, Linda Neal, Liz here, we all got together and we said, right, we're all about retiring age. How can we give other people, and especially those with disabilities, Kirree, especially those individuals, hidden disability, physical, whatever the disability is, how can we give them the enjoyment that we get? Because we do. I mean, you know, we get tired, we get this, we get the other, but we love it.
Yeah,
We love it.
absolutely it.
Yeah, and it's opportunity, because for a lot of people with disabilities, it's freedom.
Yes,
It's freedom from the disability. It's something they are doing in their own right. So, you know, your brother or sister might be out doing football and hockey and netball and all the rest of it. And you've got, you know, we've got the little one sat in the wheelchair, and she can go, well, I go carriage driving.
Yay! And that's it. And like Caroline says, there's a lot to come from animals. The therapy alone.
Yes, yeah. Well, you've seen Teddy today. Teddy is such a people pony, if you will. He loves it. He loves being around people, and he's been such an ambassador for us, one has to say.
This is it. And you say he's here today. He's followed in big hoofs before now.
Well, Bertie Bassett, yes. Bertie Bassett was our first pony. He started us off in 2014.
Oh, wow.
2014.
Been going a while now.
Yeah, we have, lovely. And thanks to Suzanne Colquitt, she has loaned us Teddy for the last 6-7 years, and he has just helped us all go from strength to strength. You know, so yes, he has been such an ambassador for us. We've taken him all over, really. South, north, east and west of the island, the boy has been. He's been up to snuff the wind too.
Never.
Yes.
Well,
you remember the Health for Life?
Yes.
The Horses for Health for Life. Promoting, again, as you say, good mental health around horses. And Teddy and my little one, Fluffy, they actually drove from the switchback, along the switchback. We had a picnic. Now, you see what we girls are like.
Well, yeah.
We had a picnic in the Tynwell car park, and from there we drove up to snuff the wind. I can't remember that name. Glen Needles.
Yeah.
Up there.
Top of there.
Absolutely, we did it. So our
And
ponies
you're
are
on a stride
fantastic.
for him. He's
Oh,
so fit, isn't he?
Tell you.
And he's going around that field there, just trotting away with us four on the back.
Absolutely.
You'd never believe it.
No, absolutely. And enjoying it.
Oh,
and he knows, you know, he certainly knows. And he can be so gentle. We always encourage our lads and lasses when they dismount, when they get off the carriage at the end of their session, always just come up and say thank you.
Yes.
We encourage them to say thank you to Teddy, because without him,
No,
we're not here.
No. And if you're looking for a few more, catch her on Facebook or how is
yes,
it nowadays?
please, yeah, go and visit our Facebook. We've got a page, we've also got a website. If you think we're Manx Carriage Driving #4 disabled, stick that into your old browser, is it? And you'll find us. Or the good old-fashioned way, pick up the phone and ring Liz on 322 431.
There we are. That was Margot Don from the Manx Carriage Driving for the Disabled.
They do a sterling job. Well done to everyone involved in that. Some dates coming up just before you tell us some news of some other things, Kirree. On Saturday, the 23rd, I must admit, because it used to be always a Thursday, is the Andreas Produce Show, or the Root Show when we were younger. That's on. The doors open at 1 o'clock. There'll be the usual rare activities for these shows. Lanket making and Sagain, which is the straw rope. Wow. So we'll be hearing about them.
Yes,
Blankets, of course, not allowed in this day and age. And on Saturday, the 30th of September, at the Kirree Parish Hall, it sees the return of the Kirree Fruit and Flower Show after a 19-year absence.
Wow.
So well done for the committee in getting on with that and getting it going again. That all gets underway Saturday, the 30th of September at 1 o'clock as well. And you can still get entries in to both of them, I think, as well.
And lastly, this week is Love Lamb Week. It's in its 9th year now, the celebration of everything to do with the lamb production around the UK. It's a great campaign to get involved in with the supermarkets, the butcher shops and the farmers alike. And it's the appreciation of the dishes that lamb creates and how that they are raised in the beautiful countryside around Britain and the Isle of Man. So this week, if you're doing anything to support Love Lamb Week, we want to see the pictures of what you're making at home. There's some great recipes put on the Isle of Man Meats website and on the Facebook page from our local shepherdess, Anna Kirree, there out in Mackeld. She's got a great kofta recipe, so if you fancy a bit of lamb and you're not really a big supporter or a big cook of it, then why not have a go? This is your chance to get involved. So Love Lamb Week, the 1st to the 7th of September. So do what you can to support the Manx local sheep producers.
Oh, sounds very juicy. But that's it for this week's Countryside. We're back next Tuesday with more. And don't forget, you can download the episodes and the previous ones as well on the Manx Radio podcasts on Manx Radio's website. So until next week at 6, from me, Simon Clark.
And me, Kirree Kermode.
We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.